Hey, everybody. Today we're going to talk about getting out of self-judgment and using this one trick or one tip to help you move forward. So let me know, are you feeling like you're just stuck in an endless cycle of self-judgment? Or maybe you feel like your business is not moving forward and you're not having the results and not reaching the goals that you are trying to get to? Do you feel like where you're at now, that whatever that self-judgment that you may be feeling, do you feel like that's serving you in your life or in your business to reach those goals? If not, this one's for you today, because this tip that we're going to talk about is all about helping you to move past that self-judgment and move forward in your business and really go after the results that you're seeking. So one thing about self-judgment is that the longer you stay in it, the longer that you're just pushing off the results that you're looking for. And really, self-judgment, it doesn't serve any purpose except to drag you down. Now, that being said, there's always self-judgment is maybe a little bit a part of the grief process. So funny story, right before this, I actually started up this whole live video and I had my mic muted. So I was going for about 2 minutes without even realizing that my mic was muted. So guess what? I had to start over. Now, I didn't kick myself while I was down. I just went, oh. I had that moment of just kind of frustration, and then you just let it go. So then I just went in and started this up again, and now we're rocking and rolling. So however long you decide to sit and marinate in that self-judgment is however long you're going to be stuck, and then however long it takes you to recover from whatever you've just done to yourself after that. So not only is it the time that you lost sitting there, but it's the time that you're going to lose afterwards that is going to really impact the speed of your success that you're looking for. So, I'm kind of a word geek, right? So someone once said words mean things, and you're right, words mean things. So let's take a look at what the meaning of words, the word judgment is. So I just went online and I'm going to look at it here. One of the definitions is a position arrived at after consideration, meaning that we've taken some time to look at the facts being the key word, and get into this decision based on the facts, right? That is a healthy process. But another definition, see, this is what's funny about English, is the same word can have multiple definitions, and it's kind of frustrating at sometimes. But let's look at an alternate definition of this, and it's an idea that is believed to be true or valid without positive knowledge. So the other one is on a judgment, is that you're making a call or making a decision on something and you don't even have the facts. There's zero facts behind it. And a lot of times this is where we end up in self-judgment, is we're listening to the BS. And by BS, I mean belief system. Whatever we've been programmed with from our past, from our history, from our experiences, that gets stuck right here in our minds, and we repeat that stuff over and over. So we've got to change our BS. We've got to change our belief system. And one of the best ways I know how to do that, and we're going to jump right into this, is by moving past judgment and talking about evaluation. This right here is the one trick that's going to help you push through that self-judgment, move past it, and actually start getting results for your business, because it is based on actions. Okay. So notice the self-judgment, we talked about beliefs or without positive knowledge. A lot of that comes from an internal emotional response. Now, again, that's part of life. That's part of the grief process. But how long you stay there in that emotional response is going to dictate how fast you are able to move forward from your results. Now, for me, I like to move beyond the emotion part of it quickly, because it's like, oh, that stung a little bit. Maybe somebody gave you a rejection. They said no. Maybe somebody hung up on you. Maybe somebody blocked you on Facebook. Maybe you got put in Facebook jail for sending spammy messages to all of your family and friends. These are all things I've done, by the way. Maybe you hated that uncomfortable feeling after that, right? These are all things that you just want to feel that emotion, own it, and then move on. Because what you're going to then do is use that emotion as fuel. Take that emotion and use that as fuel in your business. Push you forward. Okay. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is, okay, so what about evaluation? Well, the first thing that we need to understand is evaluation is not about making a judgment. It's about looking at facts and coming up with a plan to move forward. So results are a validation. They are, you get that through metrics. That's one of the best things that I love about like a Facebook page like this, or advertising or email or any of these online marketing strategies. There are so many details and metrics that you can look at to figure out not whether something's good or bad, because that's a judgment, but whether it was effective or ineffective towards your goals. So just remember that a result is not you. You are different than your result. So separate that emotion. You know, you've got you and you've got your result, right? So you want to make that separation and realize that your results don't define who you are. Who you are is actually going to eventually define your results, maybe even design your results, but that's going to help you move towards that result. And a lot of times the results that you're looking for come after you've put in all the work to get there. So a lot of you might see people in your companies and say, oh, they were kind of this overnight success. Well, no, you didn't see all of the work that led up to that. Just like other people, when they see your success that's coming, they didn't get to see all of the struggle, the pain, the fear, the doubt, and the hard work that goes into it. And I know you guys are doing that. And honestly, I am so crazy proud of you guys for doing that, because that is an important part of the business, is getting in, being persistent, being committed, being consistent, and being creative. So let's talk about, how do you do an effective evaluation? I almost said good, and that was going to put me in judgment. But we want to talk about effective evaluation. So you just did something. Maybe it flopped, maybe it went well. Doesn't matter. It happened. Now you collect the data, you collect the facts, you collect the metrics, and you're going to say, okay, what about that worked really well? Okay, this, and this worked really well. So for example, earlier, what about me getting on worked really well? Well, I went live. I had the camera on. I had the lights on. And I was ready to go. I have the content ready to share with you guys. Awesome. What didn't work so well? Well, I had my mic on mute. So that's not going to deliver the content to you very well. So that's the next step, is what could be better. But remember, be nice to yourself in this process. It's not about being judgy. It's state a fact. The fact was, my microphone right here, it wasn't on. That's a fact. So guess what? What's my next step? That's the third step, right? So what worked well? Those are the things I want to keep. What didn't work so well? Well, that's going to be the things that I'm going to look at changing. And then what is my next step? What is my very next step? Pick one. You can't have more than one priority. You can only do one thing at a time. There is no such thing as multitasking. And if I just crushed your hopes and dreams, I'm okay with that, because I want to do that now before you continue to try and run a business relying on multitasking. It does not work. So for example, let me talk about it in computer terms, because hey, that's my jam, that's my world. I went to college, trained as a software engineer, and computers actually have overhead with switching between tasks. And they can't actually run more than one task at the same time. Even though you think you've got 5 windows open on your computer, only one of them is actually executing, and that's the one you clicked in. That's the one that's actually doing work. Or if it's switching between a task that's running in the background, well, it's jumping back and forth between them, and there's a cost to that. That cost will cost you your business. So I want to just put that out there right now. If you think you can multitask, stop it right now and pick one thing to move forward with, right? You don't need to see the end. You don't need to see the whole vision. You need to have a big picture view of it, but you don't need to know all the 5,000 steps in between, or whatever the number is, right? You just need to know, hey, what are my next few steps, and focus on the one right in front of you. Just what is my next step? And then after you've performed that evaluation, you said, okay, I know what I'm going to do next. But now it's time to test it out, which means take action. You can't just sit there in your same spot and say, okay, well, great, I evaluated. Whoop-de-doo. You've got to move forward into action. Take action, test it out, and then you're going to go into this test and evaluate cycle. So one of the things that you want to make sure of is when you're testing it, remember that action is the beginning of confidence. If you're not feeling confident right now, might that be because you haven't been taking action? And I'm not talking about rearranging your office. I'm not talking about getting more people on your list. I'm not talking about getting your business cards made up. I'm not talking about getting a website or an email or any of this setup, right? That's administrative stuff. That's background stuff. I'm talking about taking action of the very next step that is going to move you towards an income producing activity. So an IPA. So you want to make sure that you're doing income producing activities as your number one, right? And what's the very next step that's going to move you there in your business? Evaluate it, test it out. And when you have confidence, that's going to lead to results. We're not going to make a judgment on the results. We're just going to evaluate the results. You're going to get new results every time you test something new. Awesome. Test it, get results. But as you continue this cycle and continually improve and continually come up with one next step, that through consistency and persistence will eventually lead to the success and the results that you're looking for. The people that don't have success just gave up too early. Now, whether that's me being stubborn or just being tenacious, I like to think that it's the latter, is that it's having tenacity, having a determination, having grit and hustle to succeed. That's what is going to allow you to create and build the dreams that you're looking for, is that continual, consistent testing and evaluation, action, just moving that forward. So just to recap, what is it that we're talking about? Get out of judgment, move to evaluation by asking yourself, what's working well? Hey, what didn't work so well? And what's my next step? And by doing that, and then going and putting it into practice, do the work, and then lather, rinse, repeat, you're going to be moving your business forward every single day. So with that, that's just the recap. Now, what we would like to do is we would like to offer you the ability to schedule a personal call with us. To do that, put hashtag unstuck below, or you can just send us a direct message off of this video and we will respond with details on how you can connect with us and how you can get on our calendar. So put hashtag stuck below, send us a message, and we will get you the details on how to book a call with us. Have a great day, everybody.